Only you can make me smile in these difficult times.
And the same to you, Jonathan Reed. Now go have your little chat with the chairman. I can see he's practically bursting to hear your report.
I have a boat ready to go whenever I want. These hunters won't catch me.
Lord Redgrave is outside almost every night coordinating our defenses. Such
Perhaps we should change some of the club's rules if we survive all of this. We need to soften some of our laws. We repel the intruders for now. But how long before they return?
Welcome back to the Ascalon Club, Lancebearer. Please tell us the good news. Have you put an end to the epidemic?
My hypothesis was correct. Doris Fletcher was the source of the contagion in this part of town. She was probably the first to be infected.
And you cleansed her before the hunters, I've been told. Well done, Dr. Reed. You thrust your lance and pierced the very heart of the corruption.
But some questions remain.
The important thing is, we won a major battle for the survival of London. For that, we salute you.
Thank you, my lord.
Now, I have another task for you. One of the utmost importance. Perhaps even more so than the previous.
I'm listening.
It's time for you to perform a most sacred duty for the club. I want you to recruit a new vampire.
Recruit a new vampire? Are you sending me on some sort of diplomatic mission?
Not exactly. I want you to make Aloysius Dawson the Ekon he deserves to be.
As you wish, my lord.
Good. Now go.
How would you like me to proceed?
Aloysius is waiting for you at the Dawson estate. Once the deed is done, I'll join you there to celebrate this momentous occasion.
Before I go...
All right, I'm listening.
Why Aloysius Dawson?
Because he is about to die, and he just may be the most influential man in England. After me, of course.
Did he choose me?
No, I did. My decision is very recent, to say the least, but it is entirely mine.
Does he know I'm coming?
He can't wait to become your progeny, Dr. Reed. Especially now that you have shown how strong your lineage is through your sister.
How would you like me to proceed?
Don't worry. Aloysius has had many years to prepare himself. He has studied our kind for decades.
So shall I just let him drink my blood?
Yes. Aloysius will gratefully sup on your blood. His heart will slow, then stop. But he will rise again as one of us, an immortal.
Is there any danger?
Our blood alters a mortal body so deeply that some don't survive the metamorphosis. They die for good. But Mr. Dawson has been preparing himself for a long time.
You invited Lady Ashbury. Wouldn't that be breaking one of your cardinal rules? No women allowed.
Not allowed as members, no. But considering the circumstances, I thought you'd like to have her here to witness your triumph.
So it's a temporary admittance, then.
Something of a bargain, considering the crisis we're currently facing.
Goodbye.
Understandably, you have questions. Very well, proceed.
Good.
Are you all right, Jonathan?
Lord Redgrave has just ordered me to turn Aloysius Dawson, to make him my progeny.
I see. And how do you feel about this?
I'd like your advice on the matter.
The real question here is, why has his lordship given you this task?
Do you think it's some sort of trap?
Do you really want to know what I think about this?
I do, yes.
To make an immortal of a soulless blackguard like Aloysius Dawson will only lead to a disaster for London. The man is already dead inside.
Should I refuse? Perhaps politely suggest that Lord Redgrave turn the man into a vampire himself.
Don't you dare, my dear. According to what I've recently discovered, his lordship could kill you for even broaching the subject.
Really? Why?
I've recently found proof that the Earl of Bristol is of lesser lineage and only capable of creating skulls.
Please tell me more about your recent investigation.
As long as you lower your voice.
What would you have me do about Dawson?
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor? Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the progeny of the great knight William Marshall, who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor souls survive at all.
How can you be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord Redgrave.
Why so vindictive? You suddenly sound like you're angry.
Forgive me, Jonathan. I hate myself for it, but I feel such pride in my discovery. I'm afraid I just can't help it.
Which is?
He did serve William Marshall. And yes, the blood he covets as a token does truly belong to that legendary knight. But he was never his progeny. His lineage is not so noble.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Ekon like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world. An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control, like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
Goodbye for now, Elizabeth.
Goodbye, my dear. Please, be careful.
For as long as I've been a member, I've never seen so few vampires attending the club nights.
It looks like vampires have to obey Mendel's laws when producing progeny. Powers pass from one generation to another. That's why Dawson wants me to sire him.
Watch out, boys! No!
I cannot enter. It's locked, all right. I should find another way to get into the neighborhood. I think this passage could lead me close to Aloysius Dawson's mansion.
Your prayer's mine now. You cannot win this. You're bleeding. Stupid newborn.
I have this thirst for blood. I cannot enter.
Show me your power, newborn! Die, newborn! I will crush!
Louise's father was determined to find and save her. It's locked. It's locked, all right. It's locked. I cannot enter. This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this.
You London vampires are
Disgusting
so
arsehole!
weak!
That will never be alright!
Miss Teasdale, are you all right?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My name is Dr. Reed. I managed to track you down thanks to your father.
So my father really was looking after me. This man, this vampire told me my father was dead. Is it true?
I'm afraid so, miss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you are free to go, as your abductor is no more.
I suppose my jailer also killed my father, didn't he?
Thankfully, he did not search your father's corpse, where I found his notes describing where he might find you. You should read them.
I must find my father's body. He deserves a proper burial.
Goodbye, Miss Teasdale, and be careful. Until we meet again. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed? Dr. Reed?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... Your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name is Pericles Baker. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, sir. And what?
Because we need to...
Why do you want to leave?
I'm not really...
Can you...
As you like.
Please.
Do you like the...
I know...
Yes, me.
But what if...
Do we ever know who...
And what...
I stopped working when I decided to leave.
But what...
Does it really matter?
Tell...
I just...
Who are you waiting?
I really can't answer that question.
And why is...
This person is most...
But why would you...
Well...
What can you...
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his place in the world.
Goodbye. Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to...
Well, is it not important?
I suppose...
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we...
May I...
I don't know.
You must have...
From what I have...
May I...
I believe...
What can...
It's the only...
Why is that?
Because
I still enjoy living...
Then I am sincerely happy
What
He's older than me.
is that all?
Pericles is...
Who?
The more I think about it,
But what else could it?
I don't know.
I'm a.
Have you ever At least...
What can
You should ask that question to my brother instead.
good?
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
I work for the Ascalon Club. Here is my permit to go freely about the city.
The Ascalon Club? You should have said so, sir. I must warn you, these streets are dangerous, and you'd better be careful.
What can you tell?
I'm the one asking questions.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that.
Haven't I told you about the
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
And what about?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor?
Why are you?
Criminals rarely act in daylight.
I'd like to report.
Then I'll write the name down and...
What are you?
I told you.
Do.
Yes,
What about?
I know.
What are you?
I have a missing woman.
Tell me about Louise.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her missing.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No.
What are you?
I have a missing...
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress.
Do you have any?
No.
Tell me all.
I'm not even sure there is only one.
How could different?
That's my main problem.
Do you know?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it. With just one phone call.
Do you need medical?
I'm afraid I may have caught something.
You'll quickly.
Thank you, Doctor.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reed, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
Do you need...
Oh, yes,
I'm just...
perhaps.
What can...
I'm still... Don't get me...
Tell me...
Who wouldn't...
Have you...
Other than you...
Does your...
Have you not seen Carol since you returned?
So you're left...
Some things never change.
Why would...
She does not Maybe you...
Do you know...
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good...
But isn't Aloysius...
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless... It's always a pleasure... I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
Good morning. Good evening, sir.
It's locked, all right. Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reed? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum. Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Good to see you too, Carol. Are you all right?
Oh, yes.
Why?
I am help... I do the best...
Why?
Oh, no.
What can...
I don't speak to...
What can...
Some of...
Have you...
No.
Does he not...
No.
Have you...
Yes.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books. And then laughed at what we showed him.
Do you...
Oh, yes.
Do you...
No.
Do you...
Oh, no.
Goodbye.
Good morning. Good evening.
It seems violence and madness are now contagious.
Good evening.
My mother always...
Do you need my...
Oh, please.
Don't be...
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
Good morning.
It's locked, all right.
Jonathan Reed.
I beg your pardon.
Of course you do.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul.
The cards.
Yes, they can tell me everything.
What can you...
I really...
So you...
Oh, I... No.
Reed,
You have been chosen, John.
can you...
Are you sure you...
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 100...
Here.
The Joker. A woman bent to obey and debase herself. A cruel gaze in the dark. A monster laughing at you.
Can you read...
Put the money on the table that...
Tell me about yourself. What do you...
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of...
Some believe you...
The guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities. And they even...
Did they steal it?
A personal notebook.
Do you want your note?
If you ever...
For how...
It was 50...
What do you make?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated...
Is there...
Aloysius Dawson.
He's not the only one.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn and...
How do you measure the
I
amount?
told you. The guard...
Is it possible?
Vampire's fate is much more delicate to...
All right. Let me hear it.
Your heart will bleed back all the blood you drank, but it will not put out the fire your treachery has lit.
I would rather... How do you...
I told you.
Is it possible?
Vampire...
How did you learn about Mary?
Swansea told me. Don't look at me like that.
She could...
Not all vampires accept...
I could have saved her.
No, Jonathan.
May I ask you...
Of course. But I must...
I know...
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered them...
Who found it?
That's precisely the kind of question I...
So you're not just a club of...
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
Goodbye, sir.
I rarely wander. Yet perhaps London will survive the epidemic, but I see terrible trials waiting.
It's locked.
Stop! Vampire! God walks with me!
Dawson's mansion. Here I am at last. But the question remains, am I ready to make a dying man my progeny?